Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. What's good, everybody? It's been 2 weeks since I've done a full Dynamite review. I actually was home today. We had some severe crazy weather going on, so I said, you know what, I'm not gonna be out there today. I said, let me bring my tail on in from work for my main job and then just catch Dynamite for a change, watch it live. So everybody in the mama know Dynamite. Listen, let me tell y'all something. AEW, to most people, we already know. Majority of the wrestling fandom, especially in the IWC, there's some of us who actually, we appreciate wrestling regardless of what company it is. But there's a whole bunch of cats in the IWC that pray for the downfall of AEW. And as of last week, AEW was in the mud. Now, I'm going to be 1,000%. I told y'all last week's episode was hot garbage. It was a missable episode. And I said, Tony Khan, you understand, bro, you got 2 weeks to get us excited for this doggone pay-per-view. You had 2 weeks. Then, like I said, it didn't help what he decided to do on Friday. Like, I understand him, having a gripe against Ariel Wanted. But, man, you didn't have to tell that man that you watched SmackDown by basically acknowledging that the food was on SmackDown, getting triggered by him being on there. And then what you do, you allow all the people who can't stand you to just gripe on you and take a dump on you. Ariel Wanted decided to clap back. And not only did he clap back, he went on his doggone podcast taking more pot shots at everything. And so like I said, with the rating situation and just Dynamite looking like they's in the mud and they going out of business and WWE gonna buy, I was sitting up and saying to myself, well, TK, go back to the fundamentals of what you used to do. You used to be able to quote unquote tell long-term storytelling, because that's what keeps cats tuning in. I tell you all the time, it ain't just about the great wrestler, because boy, did we get some excellent wrestling tonight. We got some straight great wrestling tonight. But the name of the game was, can you keep people compelled by the storytelling? We got 2 weeks. Now we got 1 week. We're 1 week away from Revolution. We got Friday night Rampage coming up, and it looks like it's going to be a stellar episode of Rampage. Tony Khan actually answered the bag tonight. He answered the call. Everybody in the IWC who seems to be more, listen, we like AEW, but everybody was on Tony Khan's helmet. Every single one of us said, listen, you want your ratings to go up, you better tell some great stories. Listen, we got Revolution around the corner. You better step your game up. And my goodness, man, did they step the game up? First and foremost, I got to give nothing but praise to the Phoenix crowd, Arizona, out there where the Phoenix Suns play. They was outstanding. I tell y'all all the time, a crowd makes a wrestling show. They make a wrestling show, everybody. If your crowd is asleep, your show gonna be trash. I'm telling you, they make or break a show. We open. Now, hold up. I want to talk about something before I get into dig deep into this episode. So word went spread it out that Vince McMahon is back and creator. Let me tell y'all something. Vince been back. Listen, Triple H is the one that's at the helm, but Vince McMahon been back, y'all. Listen, they seem to do this stuff all the time. There's always somebody saying something. Listen, look, whatever going on in WWE land, let them do what they got to do. We already know that boy is back. We know he is. So all these people hopping online, crying and scared. I'm like, I don't know what y'all tripping about. Y'all should have known better. Y'all should have knew better. But I want to talk about Monday Night Raw before I go deep into this doggone pay-per-view. Raw was hot garbage. I wanted to see what Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes could do to get me somewhat interested in the match between Roman and Cody going to WrestleMania. That back and forth between Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes was hot garbage, ladies and gentlemen. That was trash. It was hot garbage. And then the fact that they opened the show with Sami Zayn, and he said that he's puzzled about the whole situation. He said he feel like he let the hometown crowd down. And he said that he was supposed to, quote unquote, finish his story, but he didn't finish his story. So he wants to, quote unquote, still go after Roman and the entire bloodline, but he needs help. And I need one man to come out. He called Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out. He gets in the ring with him, and he wants to apologize to that man. Kevin Owens said, "Hope, you don't got to apologize to me. I already told you. I told you where we were going to be at. I told you. But let me tell you something. You don't really need me. You might as well go ask your main man, Jay," and walked out. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, even though I don't want it, we're going down the tag team path. We shouldn't, but that's exactly where we're going down. So they're going to try to get you to be upset with Jay, because obviously Sammy's going to try to reach out to Jay, and Jay ain't going to want nothing to do with him. I'm just telling you right now. It's already a done deal. So that's that. Yeah, whatever they tried on Raw, it was a missable episode. I watched it. I saw it. Very missable episode. I said, well, they got 5 more weeks. We got SmackDown, but after that, 5 weeks to get us more excited about the show, and especially with Vince McMahon coming back, talking about let's get Brock Lesnar and Omos. I mean, come on now, that's just silly. So anyway, let's go ahead and dig deep into this episode. We open straight up. They didn't play. We got Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta for the All Atlantic Championship, and man, you could have actually saved this. You know what? They actually could have saved this match and built up to the pay-per-view. If you wanted OC on the pay-per-view, you could have gave us Wheeler Yuta versus OC at the pay-per-view. That's how good this match was. These two, not only did they tell a great story, because obviously they used to be road dogs until Wheeler Yuta dipped them and left, got kicked to the curb because they left him, and he went and joined the BCC, better known, or the BBB or BBC, better known as the Combat Blood Clowns, or whatever you want to call them. These two was out there giving us a bang. You could have legit gave us build up. If you wanted to add an extra match on the show, they could have did this, because the fact that these two was going out there doing work. So get into it. You know, OC do his usual thing, play around, act like he don't know what he doing. And then Wheeler Yuta was kind of, going along for the ride, because he know how OC get down. He knows him. He knows OC's every move. So as they're wrestling, Cesaro comes out the woodwork. And the whole crowd like, oh snap. And I'm like, what the heck he coming out there? So Wheeler Yuta jumps out the ring, and he walks up to that man, and he straight slapped him and said, man, you better get in there. You better get this thing done. What crew do you represent? So he get back up in there, and the two of them are just beating the snot at each other, doing crazy moves on one. And I said, man, OC might be a clown, but the boy can wrestle his tail off. I told you, Orange Cassidy turned me into a fan after the match he had with Pac at Revolution 2020, if I'm not mistaken. The first Revolution pay-per-view, when it was right out here in the backyard. I'm telling you, OC, I became a fan of that match because I just saw him as this clown that have his hands in his pocket. OC is an outstanding wrestler. And then Wheeler Yuta, listen, Wheeler Yuta is in a class of development his character because a lot of people wonder, what is Wheeler Yuta? Yes, he's in the BBC or whatever you want to call him, the Combat Blood Club or whatever. John Moxley group. He in that group. So he's like, what kind of character does he have? Because that's what the big deal about Wheeler Yuta. Everybody knows Wheeler Yuta has established that he is a great wrestler, but we've been wondering, what is his character? His character is being developed throughout this entire Bloodline storyline, Combat Blood storyline, that him formerly being down with the Best Friends, but now he's with Moxley's group and Cesaro and them running the show, and obviously those two are well established. He's like, so how the heck do I fit? It's almost like, how do you fit in? He didn't fit in with the Best Friends. Now that he's in the back in the BBC, it's like, dog, how the heck do he? What type of character is Wheeler Yuta? That's what I'm trying to get across. And throughout this whole match, you constantly seen Wheeler Yuta just elevate his character. And another thing too, now there was a spot in this match, man, I kid you not, Wheeler Yuta straight spit his gum at OC's face, and it legit stuck to his face. So OC straight spit at them. I said, man, listen, when you spit on somebody, that's the ultimate form of disrespect. Now, I understand that these cats is wrestlers, but dog, I probably would have broke character. I don't know if I would allow somebody to spit on me like that. I don't know. But man, listen, they tore it up, and Phoenix ate everything this match gave them. They ate it up. And it was great. It was great, man. Wheeler Yuta kept kicking every time OC did something. Wheeler Yuta just kept kicking out, and the crowd was just so invested. I said, man, listen, this is what people want from Tony Khan. We want to compel a story because we know what we're gonna get when the matches happen. Everybody and how many times I keep hearing this? I hear this throughout the entire IWC. If I name them, you know them. We keep saying it. They give us great matches, but the problem always is the storytelling. This match had nothing but story. It was story all the way through because they even gave us the promos from Rampage about him going after him, said that I used to be with y'all, but y'all dumped me. Y'all treated me like I was a clown and literally got in clown to join you. Talking about Danhausen. So, with all the stuff happening, with everything going on, Wheeler Yuta came up short. OC won. And so afterwards, OC was trying to get him to hug. The crowd was saying, hug it out. And you saw Cesaro, he had walked back there, but he came right back out. And he wanted them to hug him out, and he just dipped off and left him. And the crowd started booing and everything. I said, character development. And it feels like Wheeler Yuta is definitely finna take a trip down the heel side. And that's what it just feels like. So the BCC is about to become a heel group. That's just what it feels like to me. But I thought this match was great. I said, TK, what a way to start the show off. I said, me personally, I still will open. You don't need to always open your show with a wrestling match because that's what Tony Khan constantly falls prey to. But this particular situation, I didn't have a problem with. OC, Wheeler Yuta put on a phenomenal match. This was a pay-per-view worthy match. Like I said, if it was me, I probably would have built up to this. And boom, to give me the match of Revolution. But obviously TK said, no, I'm going to give you the match this week. I'm in pay-per-view caliber match. Kudos to TK and company. They did great. So as soon as they got done with that, we got Evil Uno talking backstage with Hangman. And he said, listen, man, I get that you want to be your own. You want to be on your own. But it seems like ever since, you've been with us, it's almost like you really not with us. And it seems like the Dark Order has been a laughing stock. It's been the biggest joke in AEW. And you don't obviously think that I can take on this dude. Listen, I'm telling you right now. Listen to me. When I go out there and I destroy Moxley, I don't want you nowhere near this match. You stay in the back. I said, you know what? It's all about the storytelling. Because a lot of people be wondering, how the heck did certain matches happen? Like, why do they happen? They gave us a reason as to why the match was going to happen. And we got it. I liked it. It was a promo situation. It was a backstage situation. Great. And then as soon as we got done with that backstage segment, Ricky Starks come out there with his forest green suit. The crowd is going crazy with his theme music. You know how he do his little thing where he does his arms and all that stuff. I said, this boy over like a mug. Ricky Starks is the man, ladies and gentlemen. He's the man. So he gets out, come back, talks on the mic. He said, listen, I know everybody and their mama want to see me wrestle the Revolution. I tried to call that man out, Chris Jericho, but apparently the man doesn't want to wrestle me. So, hey, that's fine. I got an open contract for anybody in the back to come out here, sign this contract, because Ricky Starks will not miss Revolution. So, as soon as he said that, that's when the JAS music went off. The Phoenix fans sung along to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you, I personally think because Jericho is on heel mode, that song is strictly for the inner circle. I think Jericho should have got a much sinister song because it seems like even though he's a heel, the fans still love Jericho. They still love him. Even though they can't stand him, they love him. I think if he would have got another song that's more sinister, that's probably would have fit the JAS mode a whole lot better. But the fact we still got the same Judas song and fans are singing to it and all that stuff, right? So he starts talking. And as soon as Jericho is about to confront Ricky, Peter Avalon comes out to woodwork like he finna be the one to go against Ricky. And I seen fools online talk about, say, hey, man, you know what? I kind of wanted to see Peter Avalon versus Ricky. I said, no, let's be real, man. Y'all know dang well y'all don't. I know a lot of people is tired of this feud because it seems like whoever get in a feud with Jericho, they try to prolong this stuff forever. But I'm like, y'all know dang well we want to get in that match, whether y'all wanted it or not. To me, that's a Rampage match, to be honest with you. But y'all know dang well we was not getting that match. Let's call it for what it is. We was not getting that match. So, as he's walking, Jericho runs up to him and he does his I forgot that move that he does where he just back slams you and lays you out. That's exactly what he did. He laid that boy out. So, pretty much this was basically a bait shoot with Ricky. He was baiting Chris Jericho to wrestle him because he pretty much said, no, you can't. He said, you can't really wrestle me because he said, I already know your JAS clowns are going to find a way to come out there and try to take me out. We already know how the game works. We know it. And kudos to Just Alex because I seen him post something about this on Twitter. It was kind of like a scene out of Looney Tunes with Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. You remember how they say it's rabbit season, duck season? That's basically what this whole segment was. And with the whole contract signing, if you paid attention to how when Ricky Starks had told him, he said, all I need you to do is sign. He said, you know what? Hey, listen, since you think I can't beat you without the JAS, you know, I'll sign my name, but here's the deal. Too bad you ain't got a pen. Then Ricky Starks said, hey, that's too bad, but guess what? I do have one. So he took the pen out. He took it. And as he lifted the pen up, he basically gave us a throwback to remember when he was in the WWE and he had the quote-unquote, you just made the list. That's what he was doing, the shoot thing back. It kind of was like a throwback to that. But, man, listen, I know a lot of people is kind of like, they kind of over this, but listen, I absolutely like that. It was like a bait. Let me bait you into this since you said you can't do it. Since you can't quote unquote beat me without the JS, to see if you can do it. That's exactly what's about to take place. Now, as he signed the contract, Ricky Starks had a smirk on his face. Now, I'm kind of torn on who's going to win this because I've been like, I was sold that Jericho was going to win, but now I'm not really sure. Listen, I got a whole week to make up my mind on who going to win. Is Ricky going to win? Is Jericho going to win? But the back of my mind, I feel like Jericho still possibly might win, but it won't be because of somebody in the JAS. Because that's the whole point. The whole point is the JAS is banned from ringside. No member from the JAS could come out there and screw over Ricky. That's the whole point of the match. Can Jericho beat Ricky Starks without the JAS? Hey, we're going to find out come March the 5th. So, you know what? Listen, I know a lot of people wasn't, quote unquote, into it because of how long this feud has been going on. But I absolutely like this segment. I say if TK wants to tell a story, he can do it. If he wants to. You don't have to always rely on the wrestling because we're going to always get great wrestling. It's the story that captivates folk. I'm telling you, man. Listen, I took a look at their YouTube channel. Man, their YouTube channel is 3.54 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let that sink in. For a company that's been around for 4 years, has a total of 3.54 million subscribers on YouTube, you have to ask yourself, how the heck do we get the YouTube subscribers to tune in weekly? Whether that's Dynamite or Rampage, I'm trying to tell you, it's the characters and the storytelling. That is the number, because they got the wrestling. It ain't got nothing to do with the wrestling. It's the storytelling and it's the characters, and it get people invested. Get people invested, and that's exactly what Tony Khan decided to do tonight, because he's capable. The man is capable. When he wants to, he can give you a banger of a show that you can walk away from and say, you know what? I thought tonight was great. Now, I got some issues about maybe 2 things, but I'll get to them once I get to them. But for the most part, man, I'm loving what I'm watching. I said, man, TK, he get my excitement level up, because that's the whole point. Like I said, I was at a 40, but after tonight, I just shot myself up to a 60. So, like I said, I just talked about all that. So, they gave us the promo of everybody that's in the Battle Royal match. Everybody shot they shot. You heard from 2.0. You heard from Dante and them. You heard from Butcher and the Blade. You heard from Jeff Jarrett and them. You heard from everybody that was in the match. So, we get the Acclaim versus the Firm. Now, Firm and them came out. Got Stokely, Bill Morrissey, and Lee Moriarty. They came out there. And then the Acclaim came out. Max did his little rap. Crowd going berserk. Listen, they are so over. They are so over, man. I'm telling you. I have absolutely no idea what we are going to get when it's concerning this doggone tag team match. What is the result, or how we're going to get to it? Because I got a feeling I know what the result's going to be. But it's how the heck are we going to get to see a result? But my goodness, man. That crowd was so into them, man. I'm telling you. And you know what, man? For the Firm, who a lot of people really not on right now, I thought this was actually a pretty good tag team match. Now, during the match, you already know, the Guns, they came out there. They came out. As soon as they came out, they tried to go beat the brakes off of Billy Gunn. Meanwhile, the Acclaim chased their behinds off, right? So, during the match, the crowd started saying, Scissor Phoenix or something like that. Phoenix Scissors or something like that. I said, man, listen, that just shows you how over the Acclaim are. You talk about a group that a lot of people didn't give a rat's behind about, to the fact that these boys are so freaking over. That's called character development, and that's called finding a way to get yourself over. You find a way to get yourself over. And I got to give Tony Khan, I got to give Billy Gunn, Anthony Bowens, and Max Caster all the props, and everybody who they was facing, including at the time Swerve and Keith Lee. I can say, hey, they did work. So, Firm ended up losing. Acclaim won, and now they looking forward to moving on to their match, which would be the Fatal 4-Way. So right now, later on, we're gonna figure out who's the 3rd tag team that's gonna join. Personally, for me, I still would have just left it alone. I just would have did the Acclaim versus the Guns for the AEW tag team titles. That's what I would have did. So, Tony Schiavone says, I'm about to interview Christian Cage. So as soon as Christian comes out as if he's ready to talk to the crowd is booing that man, right? Next thing you know, you see Jungle Boy coming out the woodwork. Jack Perry comes out the woodwork and basically terrorizes him, beats the brakes off of him, beats him down. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is called storytelling. This is what you want. This is what everybody in the IWC has been crying about for weeks. Every single one of us. We've been on Tony Khan's helmet. Tell us a story. Get us excited for this doggone pay-per-view. Man, listen, everything that happened in this whole thing was perfect. It was perfect. Then the fact that he had that man laid out. He was about to do a chair concession, whatever you call it, where you had the dude head laid out on another chair and you about to bash their brains in. Well, Jack Perry Jungle Boy was basically questioning himself. Like, yes, this man is the reason why I did become a tag team champion, but he is also the reason why I lost the tag team champion. And he was basically questioning himself. Like, man, should I take this man's life? Should I end it? Should I end his career? That's basically how he was doing it. And because he wasted so much time, Christian straight low blow that man, laid him out, beat the brakes off of him, and busted him open. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we talk about the bleed. We talk about how AEW bleeds way too much. This was a perfect scenario where blood was allowed because it called for it. We go, listen, John Moxley, I figured it out. That fool bleed every week because he knows that we hate it. He knows we hate it. Every single one of us are tired of this fool bleeding. He makes the bleeding in AEW feel like it doesn't matter because he does it so much. But that dude is doing that crap on purpose. I believe he really knows. He knows it ticks us off. He know it does. But he said, look, screw this. I'm going to find a way to not only make the other person bleed, but I'm going to bleed myself. He does it way too much. But this situation where Christian busted open Jungle Boy, got the sympathy going, I say that's storytelling, but one-on-one. Tony Khan can do it. It is possible. He can do it if he wants to. The man can do it. I'm telling you, I done heard so many of, I heard some of his harshest critics get on his case. But even when some of his harshest critics who actually do bother, shout out to my main ace, Mr. King Mike. I've heard him say, if Tony Khan wants to tell great storytelling, he can do it. He just had to put forth an effort, get yourself a writing team, whatever you got to do, you can do it. And this was perfect, man. I ain't have no problem with it. I say it makes me look forward to Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage in Revolution. I said it's storytelling one-on-one. It was great. I'm telling y'all, great. Give me 1 second. I had to take a little sip. All right. So we get a video package promo from last week's interview with JR sitting down with Warlow, talking about the situation about why Samoa Joe cut his hair and why his hair was very significant to his fallen father because his father had a lot of bushy hair. And he said that when his father passed of the cancer, he said, look here, I'm going to grow my hair out because this is a way for me to remember him. But when he did that, now I have no respect for him because at first I trusted him being my tag team partner, but then he decided to swine side me because all he wanted was my TNT title. So then he cuts my hair, the one thing that made me remember my father. I'm going to destroy him at Revolution. Then Samoa Joe responds to him and say, yeah, you can cry all you want about your dad and your loss of your hair, but I'm telling you right now, this TNT title is never returning back to you. I say, this is great. I said, now here's my deal. Do I want Warlow to win that the TNT championship back? I don't, because we talk a lot about AEW hot potato the TNT title. I think Samoa Joe needs to carry this thing a little bit longer. I don't need Warlow to win it back because what I need them to do after this, I need Warlow to be phased out from the TNT title picture and eventually go at the MJF when the time calls for it, because we already know Bryan is losing at Revolution. But when I get to that promo segment they had, which was great, I'll talk about it. But I thought this was great. I didn't have no problem with this. Now, the women's match. So the timeline was eating this match up. And there's a lot of people who are not on Saraya's bandwagon right now. They are not. They think that she's past her prime and all of this. When I watched this match, I actually thought Sky Blue looked great. I think Saraya did a great job making her look great, regardless of the regression that Saraya has done because she hasn't been in the ring as much. I actually didn't have a problem with this match as much as so many people on my timeline was dogging it because they hate the way that Saraya is being booked right now. So many people. I mean, for me, I actually would have had Sky Blue win, but I had a feeling that she wasn't going to win. I actually thought Saraya made Sky Blue look great. So you had all the shenanigans going on. Tony Storm trying to distract Aubrey and all this crazy stuff. Just, basically trying to screw over Sky, which basically is what they did. Saraya ends up winning. I said, a lot of people, like I said, so many people I'm telling you, the entire timeline just destroyed. I said, listen, do y'all understand Saraya's on heel mode right now? And she's just getting back into the fold. For me, I'm telling y'all right now. Now, obviously, because of what's about to happen at Revolution, I don't know if you pull the plug. I don't know. I do not know if you pull the plug on Saraya right now. I'm not sure. I am not sure because if you really take a chance, I don't know. I don't know at all. Like I said, I still think Saraya needs some time to get her feet wet. I think personally, like I said, for me, this matchup was not as bad as people was trying to make it out to be. I know it's gonna be some people that's not. They gonna probably dog the mess out of Saraya, but I thought she made Sky Blue look good in this. Now it's the aftermath that took place, so they still doing the spray paint stuff, doing all that crazy stuff. Well, that's when Jamie came out, and then that's when Britt came out, and they started going at them, starting to beat the brakes off of one another and everything. And if they started beating the snot out of each other, here comes Ruby. Ruby comes out, and Ruby's standing up at the top, and she started doing her stomach like this, like a championship. So I said, "Oh, okay. So we gonna run it back. We're gonna do Ruby versus Jamie." I said, "I ain't got a problem with that, right?" So that's how that segment wins. Like I said, a lot of people, they kind of was low key on this. I am going to hang in here because I absolutely have no idea where all of this is going. We do know it's going to end in blood and guts. That's the one for people who are confused. It's going to end in blood and guts. Now, depending on who's going to be a part of this thing, I have no clue. All we know is the five key players right now. Or it's a 5. I think it's 5. Is Ruby, Jamie, Britt, Saraya. That's 4. Yeah, as of right now, those are the players right now. So we know 4 players. We know Sheeta's in it, but Sheeta's hurt right now. So we don't know who is what, where's who, and what. We don't know nothing. We don't know anything. So 5. Yeah, 5. Ruby. Let's see. Ruby, Britt, Tony, Saraya, and Jamie. Yeah, we got 5 players right now. We got probably add another 5 or something. We don't know. We have absolutely no idea. It's all about the key players that's going to be added to this feud. So that's the only reason why I'm still hanging in here. There's a lot of people they ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not, because I don't know where it's going. I have absolutely no idea. That is the only reason why I'm going to hang in there. So I'm going to talk about what I was just talking about, why I said I'm not sure if they are going to go this route. But when I talk about it is when we talk about it, I get to it. So Brian comes out there. The crowd goes nuts. They get a yes chant. Phoenix is on fire. They're going crazy. And he addresses MJF, and he says MJF is running around here talking about I'm the reason why he's crazy and all of this and that. But listen, I don't give a crap about that. All I know is at the pay-per-view, I'm going to beat the snot out of him. So as he's rambling, MJF comes out. Now, kudos to most people in the IWC. MJF is like a Joker type of character, because he changes his origin story up no matter who he goes against. It reminds me of the Joker from The Dark Knight. He changes his origin story up. So he was out there rambling, talking about Daniel Bryan reminds me of my ex-fiance, how I was going to marry this girl. I was going to give her a family, and she decided to leave me at the altar and all of this. And he said I was going to take some pills and end up ending my life. But the only thing that matters to me is the Triple B right here. And this is the one thing that, Brian, you'll never get. You're never going to get this. And all you have is concussions. I'm going to give you another concussion. Oh, and tell your kids, Uncle MJF said hi. Hi, Birdie. Hi, buddy. I mean, just getting personal with it. And I said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I had to say it again. Every single one of us in the IWC was checking Tony Khan about giving us the care about the main event. We was like, yo, we got to get something. Something has to click. Something. And this back and forth between MJF and Brian got me super excited for the main event. I was invested in it, but I was like, you know what, man? They took it up to another level. The fact they even mentioned William Regal's situation and him talking about his kids, that just made Brian snap. Brian ran out that ring so fast, got up there, started beating the snot out of each other. They started beating the brakes off each other. And then that's when, it's funny, as soon as the babyface always gets the upper hand, the security folk always got to magically come out. I say, ain't that the same? Everybody does. It does not matter if it's WWE, AEW, everybody do the same thing. But they going at it. They even went to commercial break. They came back. These cats were just beating the snot at each other, tearing each other up. I said, y'all, I can't wait for this Iron Man match. I am very excited. I said, Tony Khan, he knew he had to do work overboard, because there was so many people that was destroying his product because of the lackluster television that he was out here putting on TV, putting bull crap on TV. When you listen, you know what's messed up when you got cats who hardcores like myself that's checking this behind. Like I said, now I check them all the time, but you have some hardcore AEW heads. destroying this product. I mean, they was going in. If I name them, you know them. They was going in on this behind. Tony Khan had to step his game up, and he stepped his game up. So many cats I seen on my timeline said they is ready for Revolution. I said, hey, listen, it's unfortunate that it took 1 week before the doggone pay-per-view to get us excited. But TK had to work overboard. He had to. He had no choice. So now we still ain't even got to his doggone announcement yet. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, we really didn't need it. But hey, this was an excellent segment. I loved it. I said I'm excited for the match. I said this is what you want. This is exactly what you want, man. I'm telling you. So with all the commotion going on backstage, DMD, Jamie Hayter, Britt, they talking with Tony Schiavone. And Jamie says this, look, as much as I'm tired of Sarir, I'm tired of Tony, I'm tired of all of them. Listen, it's one woman that actually earns my respect. She deserves the title shot. So you know what, since Sarir keeps running around here thinking that she's all that in a bag of chips, she should have just stayed up behind home because her situation is basically dragging down the women's division. She said that she was going to elevate the women's division. She ain't elevate nothing. But you know what? I'm in the giving mood. So at Revolution, it's going to be me versus Ruby Soho versus Sarir and a trio, in a triple threat for the AEW Women's Championship. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if TK is thinking this. I don't think I would pull the trigger on Sarir walking out with that championship right now. I wouldn't do that. I think Jamie still needs to retain. I think so because we still need to get to Britt versus Jamie. And that won't be taking place until after Blood and Guts. I'm trying to tell y'all right now. That will not take place until after Blood and Guts. So, Jamie needs to walk out. Because I know some people's like, hey, is Tony Khan going to put the championship on Sarir? She's not ready yet. Sarir is still trying to get her feet wet. The girl is wrestling. How long has it been? 6 years, right? It's been 6 years since she last wrestled. So, we don't listen. Whoever hosts their champion must be able to go. Jamie Hayter can go. She's one of the best women wrestlers in AEW. I don't need to put the championship on Sarir right now because Sarir ain't nowhere near ready to go. She not. She ain't. So like I said, my personal take is I need Jamie to walk out. I need Jamie to walk out for real. Now Ruby is a close second, but I need Jamie to walk out because it's so much that you can tell with all of this. That's the whole point. We're trying to get the Blood and Guts. That is the major reason why this is the title match is because this is going to fester all the way into Blood and Guts. The key pieces are going to be added as we go through the weeks. And when we get to Blood and Guts, you're going to know who in it and who ain't in it. We're going to know. So, we get to the Tag Team Championship Contenders Battle Royale. So, now it's funny as heck how you had everybody out there from Aussie Open. You had the Bieber Boys, Butcher and the Blade, Penta El Zero, Preston Vance, Roosh, Ray Phoenix, El Toraro Blanco, La Falcon, Danhausen and them, 2.0, Jeff Jarrett, Chuck Taylor, Best Friends, Dante Martin and them. You had all of these clowns, and including Mark Briscoe, who ran out there, got beef with somebody, started attacking somebody. Listen, the screen went so small. I was like, I'm trying like, what the heck? It was just so much going on. That's why I say, here's the deal. This was actually a pretty solid battle royal, but the problem is TK and them just have way too many. If you cut down on the battle royals, I can tolerate 2 battle royals a year. Not this fool give us like 5 or 6 of them a year, man. It's too many. It's too many. It kills the mystique of a battle royal. The fact that you got to keep doing them so much. I'm like, give us 2 a year. If you give us one at the beginning of the year and then you give us one towards the end, I don't have a problem with it. But if you constantly keep giving us the same thing over and over again, people going to take a dump on it. However, like I said, I thought this was pretty good until we got to the final 6. So I believe it was Trent, Dante, Ray Phoenix, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and who was next to him? It was one more. It's one more. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure I ain't missing somebody. Let's see. Dante Martin, Ray Phoenix, Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Trent Beretta. I'm missing somebody. Was one of them was a 2.0 It was somebody. It was 3 heels and 3 baby faces. But I'm gonna just get down to the final 3. So we had Trent Beretta, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett, right? So I'm sitting up and saying to myself, "Where this is my mind." I'm like, okay, best friends are gonna win. They're gonna find some kind of way to help Trent get it. Now you had Satin on scene basically helping out Jay and Jeff the whole time. Meanwhile, you had OC pop out the woodwork to help Trent Beretta. But listen, when Jay got knocked out, that was basically a way for Jeff Jarrett to find a way to get rid of Trent Beretta. So Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett then found their way into the match for the tag team titles. And I said, man, that's a bull jive finish. I was like, you know what, man? I understand Jeff Jarrett's role right now. His role is because they about to go on the house shows. This is a great business move by bringing him in. But this whole stuff about him being on TV and all this crazy stuff, I'm like, man, listen, we're not trying to relive the old school T&M days. We're just not, man. I would actually have been cool with the best friends being added into this. It would have been great. So, like I said, if it's one thing I didn't like, I don't think I like the fact that we're still trying to force Jay and Jeff Jarrett. I'm like, I don't know. I think this is a miss. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody else might have thought that this is great. But like I said, I mean, overall, like I said, Battle Royals always mean something when you get down to the final 4 or the final 6. That's when they start getting important, because now it's like, okay, who gonna win this thing? And I'm gonna be honest with you, when Trent Beretta was like the last sole survivor for the good guys, I said, okay, maybe they might have Trent Beretta in the win, but they said, nope, we're going to make sure Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal is going Team Satin, Sanjay Dutt with his pencil wearing tail. I'm telling you, I'm so over them, y'all. I'm so over these clowns, man, but it is what it is. But then here's another thing. Now, they do have beef with the Acclaim. So I get why TK decided to put them in there, because they got story with the Acclaim. It's sitting right there. They're sitting right there. So the question now you had to ask, who is going to be the 4th team? Now, I actually would not bring FTR back until after the match, because, see, I would actually have the Guns retained so at least they can make it through one pay-per-view. Once the pay-per-view is over, this is when I will bring out FTR so we can automatically set up the storyline. We know who's going after the tag team titles, because, see, now they make their way at Revolution. Because, see, a lot of people are speculating like, oh, are they going back to the WWE? I said no. Especially with all this talk about CM Punk potentially coming back. Listen, spoiler alert, CM Punk is returning, ladies and gentlemen. Whether fools don't want him or not, he's coming back. And obviously, I think that's going to be a huge help. Now, here's the deal. When Phil Brooks comes back, that fool needs to learn. You got to learn how to work with the cats in the back. We ain't got time for no drama. The drama should be on TV, not behind. TNT stands for We Know Drama, not backstage drama. We don't need no more backstage drama. We don't need it. We do not need it. But the on-screen drama, oh, we need it. And he knows how to bring it. That's the one thing about CM Punk that a lot of people always try to overlook. The man knows how to sell a TV show. He said, I'm trying to run a business. Remember he said at the media scrum, he can do it. Now, does he know how to run into the ground by being petty and being goofy? Absolutely. But he's definitely been missed. Big time. Big time, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just telling y'all right now, he's returning. Whether cats want to receive that or not, he coming back. So we get a video package from the House of Black, basically saying they going at the Elite. And I'm sitting up and saying to myself, man, I wish we had more time to build this, because I think they could tell a better story from here moving forward after Revolution, going into Double or Nothing. They could tell a great story if they wanted to. Do y'all understand, to this day, one of the greatest tag team matches of all time just so happened to take place at Revolution? Heyman, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. And the story with them going from the tag team titles to Hangman winning the chase. I mean, just the Adam getting kicked out of it was great storytelling. It was great. Long-term booking is what everybody like to say. I think if TK and them didn't rush it, they give us more time, we would probably be more invested in seeing a further down the road with them clashing, and then the House of Black taking those trios championships. Because for me, I always shout out to my main man, Mr. Melvin. Melvin said this. He said, anytime you introduce new titles, it's always best for the heel to get it, because see, the heel is being prompted. So now you got the opportunity to get a baby face up, and the baby face goes up for the chase. That's what makes it great. So they went backwards when they put him on the Elite. I personally think all of this foolishness that... See, remember when I was telling y'all about Kenny Omega coming back so early, when Kenny Omega was still beat up? If they didn't come back at All Out, I don't think that situation with CM Punk would have happened. Because they came back so early. I was like, that man... Didn't I tell y'all, he needed to get to full gear. Once he got the full gear, the rest was history. The rest was, he was 100% healed up, ready to go. But they gonna try to get us this, and apparently they supposed to be talking about this on Rampage. Tony Khan trying to get Cass to care about Rampage. He's trying. I seen Cass say, "Why the heck are they doing this on Rampage?" Like, don't know about why. I said, that's the point. Yeah, don't nobody watch Rampage, but the reason why this situation is taking place on Rampage is because Tony Khan wants you to watch Rampage. He wants you to give a care. I understand fools say that Tony Khan don't give a crap. Yeah, sometimes he don't give a crap. I think Tony Khan needs to wake up and figure out how to get Rampage to be live. Because that's the deal. We need Rampage to be live. Dynamite be live, Rampage to be live. I keep saying it over and over again. Because doing this tape stuff, it could sometime the tape episodes be decent. But a lot of times the tape stuff, man, it just, I don't know. You got to get Cass to care. That's the whole thing. We got to give a crap. If we don't give a crap, it is really no point in even doing it. So, Tony Khan's big announcement. He's standing there with Renee. He said, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I got a huge announcement, but I think it's another cat that is a huge star. I think I'd rather have him do it. Adam Cole comes out to Woodwork. Fans are going crazy. And he said that the big announcement, I've seen so many people online speculating about what it was going to be. And some people was like, you know what, it's TK really could have just saved just a tweet. Obviously, you know why, because the ratings was in the mud and he had to quote unquote say something. It's like a bait people to tune. No, let your television be the reason why people tune in. Not you had to say, I got to say a big announcement so fools can tune in and see what they can talk about, and then the announcement be a big letdown. Now, this situation, I don't have a problem with it, but I think Tony Khan could have saved the announcement part. Or he could have just tweeted about it. But the Adam Cole part was the best part about it. So Adam Cole pretty much said, we get ready to have an hour television show come debut on March 11th, right after Dynamite. It's called AEW All Access. It's going to be a behind the scenes. You get to see wrestlers, what it's like. It's like reality of what's going on behind the scenes with some of the wrestlers that you may know or may not know. And also on March 11th, the in-ring re-debut of Adam Cole takes place. So that locker room better be getting ready, because I'm about to terrorize everybody. Hey, that was great. I like that. Cool. Like I said, I personally didn't have a problem with the announcement, but I think that Tony Khan could just tweet about that. Easy. He could have just tweeted about that and say, hey, tune in Dynamite. You know, that's it. Just tune in Dynamite. Don't say nothing about no announcement, because I know what you're doing. You're trying to get cats to tune into your show because the ratings are dead. And people's like, oh, AEW is going to be out of business, all this woo-woo that. Nah. He could have just said, look, I'll tweet about that with the whole reality show. Fine. But the Adam Cole part, I didn't have a problem with that. It's good to see he's getting ready. March 11th is when he makes his in-ring return. I can't wait. So kudos to them for that situation. Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh cutting the promo about them getting ready to win those tag team titles. The A-Boys pull up. They say, hey, listen, look, they said, man, what y'all clowns want? What you want? Listen, look, check this out. How about we take care of each other's problems so then we could just focus on us? I said, man, listen, this is the whole point of trying to put everybody on the freaking show. We didn't need to have all this, man. You did not need to. Like I said, if they was going to do this, they could have just did this stuff from the jump instead of trying to have people to think that the situation was only going to be the Acclaim and the Guns. So, like I said, basically, the Acclaim was supposed to get taken out by the A-Boys, and they were supposed to take out whoever the other team was supposed to be, or something like that. In other words, we get rid of the Riff Raff, and then it'd just be us two. I was like, no, you didn't have this garbage battle royal for nothing. You didn't have the battle royal for nothing. You put the battle royal on there, you got to deal with it. That's the whole point. You have to deal with whoever else is getting added. So we got one more group, one more tag team to be added next week. Not sure exactly who that'd be, but you know what? Since the Best Friends got screwed, hey, throw them in there. Because we got to get another babyface team. So I'm going to take the Best Friends to be the last group. Because as of right now, we don't need FTR. FTR they need it all the time to get healed back up. They can pop up at Revolution. That's what I do. I have them pop up as soon as the match is done. So we get the main event. Moxley versus Evil Uno. Moxley comes out there and Evil Uno comes down. And this is a bloodbath. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. Oh my goodness. Listen. I tell y'all all the time. I love blood in wrestling. I absolutely do. But when AEW overdoes it, and I didn't have a problem with Evil Uno bleeding, but I already had a feeling Moxley gonna find a way to get busted open. The fact that he beat the brakes off of Evil Uno. Now Evil Uno was actually getting some pop. He was getting pop. Fans was actually rooting for Uno. They was booing Mox. I tell you, the Combat Blood Club, or the Combat the Blood Combat Clowns, as I call them, can't help themselves. All you gotta do is bleeding 24/7. I was like, shoot, them fans, they wanted Evil Uno to get the victory. And the whole point was Uno told Heyman, stay in the back. We don't need you to come out here. Uno tried everything. And then Moxley found a way to bust it. He ripped half his mask open, found a way to get that man busted. I mean, the man was bleeding out. He's bleeding on his arm, bleeding out his face like a crazy person. I mean, man, Moxley just insane. Moxley loves to just beat you he can't help himself. He can't. He had this fool bleeding all over the place. This is crazy. It's crazy as heck. And with him just beating the snot out of each other, Moxley ended up getting the victory. He won. So after that, Moxley just started beating the brakes off of some more. That's when the other two members of Dark Order, Alex Shelley and Johnny Hungy, came out there. And then Willa Yuta and Cesaro came out there. So they trying to beat the snot out of each other. And then Heyman comes out. But here's the deal. Heyman came out to a new theme song. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really that into it right now. I'm probably going to have to hear it again. But it was just random as heck. It was like, because I'm listening, I said, that sounds like a new song. You know, I don't know. Maybe, y'all tell me how y'all felt about that song in the comment section. But he came out, he addressed him and Moxley started beating the snot at each other. And then sure enough, Heyman pulled out a doggone barbed wire brass knuckle. That's exactly what it looked like. And he beat the snot out of Moxley. And next thing you know, Moxley bleeding all over the place. This is what Moxley said in his mind. Ain't no way I'm not going out of this episode busted open after I just got through for having Evil Uno bleed all over the place. I got to find a way to get busted open. Hey, man, come out there and hit me in the head with a barbed wire brass knuckle. Come on out and do it so I can bleed all over the place. I'm like, and listen, like I said before, Moxley knows. He knows we hate it. Every single one of us know. This is the issue that a lot of us have with AEW. Yes, a lot of us. And you know the hardcore WWE shields, you know they can't stand it. But some of us, we getting tired of it too. Because it's like, dog, we want the blood to matter. It was two situations that happened tonight where I didn't have a problem with the bleed. When Christian had busted open Jungle Boy, oh, that was perfect. That was excellent. And then the fact that Moxley had busted over Evil Uno, I'm like, man, if Moxley didn't bleed every week, I actually would not have a problem with what he did to that man. But that's the problem. And people gonna say, well, man, cats bled every week in the Attitude Era. I'm not sure. They did, but I think they only bled when it meant something. Ain't nowhere in the world do I remember The Rock get busted over every week, or Stone Cold get busted over every week, or Triple H get busted over. Now, listen, when they would have their pay-per-view matches or whatever, yeah, they'll get busted over. Shawn Michaels was bleeding like crazy too. But I think they only did it when it meant something. Not this, hey, you gonna bleed today, I'm gonna bleed today, we're gonna bleed all over the place. I'm like, no, man. No, that's why I call them the Blood Combat Clowns, because they bleed 24/7. Bleeding every day. That's why I say it's one of the biggest issues I got with John Moxley. One of the best wrestlers in the game, but boy can't help himself. And he do this on purpose. He know it. Listen, y'all. Do y'all understand? He see what we say. He may not quote unquote be on social media, but he hear every single one of us getting on his case for bleeding every day. And he say, hey, since these fools hate it, I'm gonna keep doing it more. I'm like, no, man, what you gonna do? You gonna make people turn the TV off. Cause you keep doing this stupid stuff. I'm like, bro, do it when it matters. No, this fool can't help himself. Now listen, I understand it's Moxley heads out there that absolutely enjoy it. But I'm telling you, this is an issue I got with Jon Moxley. He don't have to bleed every freaking week. This clown got to find a way to bust it. I'm like, dude, either he busting somebody else open or he finding a way to get himself busted open. And guess what? Him and Heyman gonna have a dog. Remember, I was getting on Heyman case. Remember, Heyman was bleeding every week? And then Heyman figured out, oh man, let me stop bleeding. Heyman was bleeding every week too. Heyman was finding a way to get busted over every week. Now get this. These fools finna have a Texas death match. What you think they finna do? These fools finna be bleeding all over the place. Man, I'm telling you, if they didn't bleed like crazy, I would actually be looking forward to the Texas death match because I know they're going to bust each other open. Now, I would have been fine with it because it calls for it. But no, we got to go ahead and do this stupid stuff. I said no. So, after all said and done, I thought this was a fire episode of Dynamite. I gave you the issues that I didn't like about the show, but for majority of it, I thought this was an outstanding episode. I thought Tony Khan actually woke up. He listened to the criticism of what everybody had to say. Get off the internet. Don't worry about Ariel Helwani. Don't worry about that clown. Let him do what he want to do over in the E. You focus on getting your TV to where it needs to be. And I thought tonight was great. He did the right job. We got one more week. We got Rampage coming up. And then we got the Go Home Show. The Go Home Show for Dynamite and the Go Home Show for Rampage. And we off to the races to Revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the boy Casey Field, King Self for Life Wrestling Takes. Hit the freaking comment section up. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Hit that like button. And I will get to y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.